Good morning, students. Now, after introduction of the concept of differentiation, now today we are discussing application of differentiation. Here, basically this concept of differentiation will be used in finding instantaneous speed and velocity. So first of all, we have to understand what is instantaneous speed. Instantaneous, the word indicates that is at a one particular instant. Therefore, speed of an object at any particular instant of time. This is taken as instantaneous speed. Or when we take velocity of an object at any particular instant of time, we will take it as instantaneous velocity. So basically this instantaneous speed, from where you get the concept of instantaneous speed. So I can tell you that when you are using speedometer in any of your bike, scooty, then that speedometer is giving you speed at that one particular instant of time. So this speedometer, it is giving you the measure of nothing other than instantaneous speed. Now here we will understand how to find instantaneous speed or instantaneous velocity. If we take the concept of average speed, suppose A and B are the 2 points separated by certain distance. Let me represent that last distance by del x. And let when a car or any body is taking a time del t in covering a distance from A to B. See here, this triangle x, it is referred to delta x, del x, and covering in time del t. Basically, this delta symbol has been used for the change. That means A is at one particular point, B is at another point. So the separation gap, that is represented here by del x, and corresponding time taken, that is represented by del t. So now if we have to calculate average speed, as we have already introduced the concept, suppose if you have to go from Sonipat to Delhi and you are taking a time of 1 hour in covering a distance of 50 km. Let we are taking this example. So that distance covered from starting point from station of Sonipat to station of Delhi, the distance is 50 km, has been covered in 1 hour. So average speed was 50 km per hour. It means when the 2 points are far apart from each other. But if we take the 2 points A and B close to each other, very close, that is negligible small separation, we are not able to distinguish between them. That means so small, correspondingly that the different interval of time which we are taking, that is approximately approaching to 0. This is the main point which we are understanding here. See, I have already introduced this concept while introducing the concept of differentiation. Let me take once again. If we are taking difference of time is equal to 0, that means we are talking about single point only. But we are not taking it equal to 0. We are taking del t tending to 0. So what is the difference between these two? In normal condition, we can say that these are approaching to the 0 value in rough, so rough estimation is 0. But exact in the measurement terms, then you can take it as del t will be 0 plus h or 0 minus h. It means that variation, that value will be slightly greater than 0 or slightly less than 0. So small variation, that value of h can be either 0.1 or 0.01 or 0.001 or even less than that. If you are taking such a small values, you can ignore it. Let we are taking, suppose a time of 2 seconds you are taking, and you have to consider the time of 2.001 second. So what you will take? You will simply take a time of 2 seconds. Or if a time of 1 hour is given and you have to take a time of 1.001 hour, then it means you are taking the time interval, the time main point, that is of 1 hour itself. So it means now it is clear from these figures that this fractional value is negligibly small. We are ignoring it for the calculation, but exactly when we are taking 2 points very close to each other, so the difference of time is not exactly 0, but it is tending to 0. This tending to 0 means, so when we are using this limit this limit del t tending to 0. Why? Because limit is imposed over the time gap. Whatever interval of time, whatever time is taking, that difference of time is approximately equal to 0. Then this along with del x upon del t. See, del x upon del t, as I have introduced, this is a concept of average speed. Now, limit has been placed over the difference of time. Then this complete term, it is replaced by dx by dt. This is one of the way when we are writing differential coefficients, as I have introduced in differentiation. Basically, this basic concept, how you are getting this formula from this result, you will understand in maths when the complete limit and continuity chapter will be introduced. One complete exercise is over on this particular concept. So I am taking it directly. You have to learn this particular result, that limit is imposed over the denominator factor, that is difference of time tending to 0. So along with this, it will come out to be dx upon dt. That is first derivative of x with respect to time. This is taken as instantaneous velocity or instantaneous speed. So now instantaneous speed or velocity, this can be written as, this is del x upon del t with limit sign. You can write it as LIM as a symbol or LT, both having the same meaning. You can write it as average speed. It means instantaneous speed is the limiting case of average speed, or instantaneous velocity is the limiting case of average velocity. And hence, mathematically, to calculate the instantaneous velocity, you have to learn this result. On the basis of differentiation, you have to solve the numerical. So now it is clear to you why I have introduced the concept of differentiation. Why? To get instantaneous value of velocity at any instant of time. Now, to understand how to use this differentiation to solve numericals, so here we are taking numerical on instantaneous velocity. Here distance x of a particle moving in one dimension under the action of constant force is related to time t by t equal to under root of x plus 3, where x is in meter and t is in seconds. Find the displacement of the particle when its velocity is 0. See, this is a concept, this is a numerical which you have to understand how to solve and what are the given parameters and how to proceed. So very important point, what you have to do while solving the numerical. So here, as per the statement, distance x of a particle as related with the time, it is given by t equal to under root of x plus 3, where x is in meter, t is in seconds. Now you have to find the displacement when its velocity becomes 0. See, as per this statement, only this is an equation and this is a condition. Now, how you will find the displacement? It's a little bit confusing, but you have to see. Here time is there and root x is there. Let me rearrange this equation. What we will do? We can write it as under root of x is equal to t minus 3. Simple mathematical step. Nothing physics concept has been used till now. Now squaring both sides. On squaring both sides, x square is equal to t minus 3. Squaring both sides, that means under root of x square equal to t minus 3 square. So now here x will be equal to t minus 3 square. So now a minus b square, t square minus 6t plus 3 square 9. So x comes out to be this one. Now we have converted this relation into this. Actually, why we are doing this? Because by doing this, we are obtaining the expression of x in terms of time. Why we are doing? As in the given numerical, in the given statement, what condition has been given when velocity is 0, but velocity is not given. So how can we say this to be 0? So first of all, we will find this velocity. This is here instantaneous velocity. This is here instantaneous velocity by taking first derivative of x with respect to time. So now I hope you have practiced the differentiation function for different numericals, so we can solve it. Now see here power is n is equal to 2. I am combining all the results and taking it in a short manner. N is equal to 2, so 2 t raised to the power 2 minus 1 1, minus 6 is a multiplier factor, and differentiation of t is 1, where 9 is constant, so differentiation is 0. So velocity comes out to be 2t minus 6. I hope this step is clear to you. If not clear, you can again go to this step. Take n to be 2, then n comes out in the multiplication, t raised to the power n minus 1. Same applied here. Now come to the condition as velocity is given to be 0. When it is given to be 0, so 2t will be equal to 6. This implies t is equal to 3. That means time is equal to 3 seconds. So after 3 seconds, its velocity will become 0. So the step we are using here, the purpose of it to get the instant at which velocity is 0. Now, what should you do here? As we know, x is equal to t minus 3 square, and you have to obtain displacement. So now substitute t equal to 3 second here. When you will put here, then x will come out to be 0. So this will be the final answer. So first of all, you have rearranged. As per this statement, you have rearranged it, obtaining the value of x. Then, because one condition has been given velocity to be 0, so first of all, you are obtaining velocity by differentiation. Take velocity to be 0. From it, we are obtaining t to be 3 seconds. Then, by knowing this value of time, the instant at which velocity becomes 0. So now, at that instant, what will be the displacement? So, in this expression, you will substitute t to be 0. So finally displacement is 0. It means body is at the rest position at that instant. Now next numerical. The position of an object moving along x-axis is given by x equal to a plus bt square, where a is given to be 8.5 meter and b is given to be 2.5 meter per second square, and t is measured in seconds. What is the velocity at t equal to 0 and t equal to 2 seconds? What is the average velocity between t is equal to 2 seconds and 4 seconds? See here, basic concept, the displacement, this position has been given by this equation where a and b values have been given. Now, you have to find velocity at t equal to 0 second and 2 seconds. So, this velocity at one particular instant, that means from here you can conclude we have to find instantaneous velocity at these two separate instants. So, first step you have to find instantaneous velocity expression, then you will find by substituting the time at that particular point. Second thing, it has been asked, what is the average velocity between t equal to 2 seconds and 4 seconds? So let's see how to proceed. Now, here position x is given by a plus bt square. From the statement, it is clear that we have to calculate the velocity at one particular instant. So velocity is given by dx upon dt. So here a is constant, its value is given to be 8.5 meter. But here first of all we will do the differentiation, later on we will substitute the value. A is a constant, its differentiation will be 0. Now coming to bt square, b is a constant, it will be act as multiplier. Differentiation of t square, here n is equal to 2, yes 2. So 2 t raised to the power 2 minus 1. So what you are getting? 2bt. So expression for velocity is 2bt. Now you have been asked what is the velocity at t equal to 0 second. That means at the starting of motion, just at the origin point. So here velocity is 0. By substituting t equal to 0, velocity is 0. It means body is not moving, no velocity. Now you have to also find velocity at t equal to 2 seconds. So you will substitute t to be 2 seconds, as well as you also substitute the value of b, that is given to be 2.5. So here on solving, you are getting, this is 4 into 2.5. This you can directly take it as 10 meter per second. So because we are calculating velocity, so its unit is meter per second. So quite simple step. First of all, you have differentiate the equiposition with respect to time, first derivative of x with respect to t, obtaining the expression, general expression. Now substitute the time at 0 degrees, 0 seconds and 2 seconds. So you have obtained instantaneous velocity. But another part which has been asked, what is average velocity? See, average velocity is x2 minus x1 upon t2 minus t1. So first of all, you have to calculate average velocity x2 and we have to calculate position x2 and x1. See here, x is given to be a plus bt square. It means first of all, at different instant of time, at t equal to 2 second, first time interval, at t equal to 4 second, second time interval, first obtain the positions again along with a and b. So x1 at this time, let we are taking t to be 2 second, let it be t1. So when you are putting a plus 2 into 2 4, that is 4b. Similarly, t equal to 4 second. Second time is 4 second. So x2 will be a plus 4 square. 4 into 4 16 b. So you have obtained x2 and x1 and time interval are also shown here. Now what you have to do? You have to substitute the value in this expression. You can substitute a and b here also, but I want minimum calculation. So when you will substitute here, common factors will cancel out. So calculation part will be reduced. We have substituted x2, x1, t2, t1. So you can see here, a is cancelled. Now what is left? 16b minus 4b. This is 12b upon 2. This is 6b. Now only b is required, that is 2.5, and it comes out to be 15 meter per second. So average velocity, this is a way when average velocity is asked. So by this way you will substitute the time and obtain the position at that different instant of time, and hence substitute the values here. Now we are taking one or two numericals on average speed and average velocity, because in the previous numerical part I have not included this numericals. This is important. And the numerical which we are doing here, this is of NCERT exercise. So see here how to do it. A man walks on a straight road from his home to market. Man is moving from home to market 2.5 kilometer away with a speed of 5 kilometer per hour. Finding the market closed, he instantly turns and walks back with a speed of 7.5 km per hour. See, at this time speed is increased, but in the previous case it was, for the same distance, it was 5 km per hour. Now the speed is 7.5 km per hour. What is the magnitude of average velocity and average speed of a man over interval of time? Now this is important. 3 time intervals has been given: 0 to 30 minute, 0 to 50 minute and 0 to 40 minute. Now see, as a man walks from home to market, which is distant 2.5 kilometer. When he is going from home to market, that is from point A to B, speed was 5 km per hour. Finding the market closed, then he returned back from market to home, but with an increased speed, that is 7.5 km per hour. See, in both the cases, distance covered will be same, because he has to reach again to point A. So now to calculate average speed and average velocity, first of all you have to note the time taken when a person moves from A to B or B to A. So when the person is moving from A to B, that is home to market, time taken will be equal to distance upon velocity, or speed you can take. So distance is 2.5 kilometer and the speed is given to be 5. So 5 km per hour. So basically it comes out to be 1/2 hour, and this can be taken as 30 minutes. Right? A to B time taken we have calculated, simple by the formula. Now, when the person is moving from B to A, so the time taken, it will be D upon V2. So it will be 2.5 upon 7.5, that is 1 by 3 hour, and you are converting it into minutes, so it will come out to be 20 minutes. So you can see he was moving faster while returning, so it will take less time. When going, it will take more time. So total time for the entire trip, it was 50 minutes. Now, let me come to the time interval 0 to 30 minutes. This is the first interval that has been given. In this case, you can see that distance and displacement. Just analyze the figure and the statement as going from A to B. How much time is taking from A to B? That is 30 minutes. So within this time, when reaching from home to market, distance as well as displacement is same. That is 2.5 kilometer. And time taken in both the cases, that is 30 minutes. So in that case, average speed will be equal to distance upon time. So it will be 2.5. Because it is in kilometer, let me keep it in the hour. So it will be 1 by 2 hour. So it will come out to be 5 kilometer per hour. Right? And if we calculate average velocity as displacement upon time, so displacement again, that is 2.5 and time taken is 1 by 2. Displacement again is 5 kilometer per hour. So corresponding to first interval, there will be no change in speed and velocity. Average speed and velocity, it is same. Why? Reason being distance equal to displacement. This is a simple step. Second point. When we are taking the time interval from 0 to 50 minutes, total time of the motion A to B and B to A, that is 50 minutes. So in that case, it means the person is returning back to original point. So now see, 0 to 50, distance covered. Distance covered is, this is equal to 2.5 in going and 2.5 in coming back. This is 5 kilometer. What will be the displacement? Final and initial points are coinciding, so it will be 2.5 minus 2.5, it is 0. Time interval, it has been given. Time is 50 minutes. You can convert it into hours. This is divided by 60, so it is 5 by 6 hour. So now average speed will be distance upon time. So 5 upon 5 by 6, this will be 6 kilometer per hour. Now average velocity, yes, you are guessing right. This is, as displacement is 0, it will be 0. 0 divided by time, it will be 0. So average velocity will remain to be 0, whereas average speed is having certain value. So I hope this is clear, because it is for the entire trip A to B, B to A, that is home to market, market to home itself. So average speed will have certain value, but average velocity will be 0. Why? Because displacement is 0. Now for the time interval 0 to 40 minutes. See here. When going from A to B, the distance was 2.5 kilometer. It was covered within a time of 30 minutes. But now remaining 10 minutes. What amount of distance body has covered, the person has covered within remaining 10 minutes. So we have to calculate that particular distance. So first of all, distance covered in 30 minutes, it is 2.5 kilometer. Now distance covered in next 10 minutes, you have to calculate. See, distance is equal to, this is distance, this is speed is equal to, or velocity is equal to distance upon time. Now from here, distance is equal to velocity into time. So if you want to calculate d2, this will be velocity multiplied by time. Now after 30 minutes, that is reaching at point B. So after that, while returning, it was moving with a speed of 7.5 kilometer per hour. So the speed will be 7.5 and the time was 10 minutes, that is 10 by 60. This is the main point. You have to focus here. I am repeating, as within 30 minutes it is covering a distance of 2.5. This is given. But when returning back, so within B to A, within first 10 minutes, what will be the distance covered? Being it is moving with the uniform, it means same speed. So distance will be velocity into time, and now on solving it, you are getting it to be 1.25 kilometer. So for this case, total distance covered d1 plus d2. That means, suppose as per the figure here at point C it has reaching, or C point can be somewhere here. This will be the maybe the exact position. So it has reached to this point at almost at the midpoint. So total distance will be d1 plus d2. So it will be 2.5 plus 1.25. So it is 3.75 kilometer. Right? Now what will be the displacement? Now coming to the figure again, here from A to C, what is the shortest distance? A to C, this will be 2.5 minus 1.25. So displacement will be 2.5 minus 1.25. This will come out to be 1.25 kilometer. So now average speed is total distance covered to the total time. Now you can see from this step total distance is 3.75 and total time taken here is 40 minutes. That is 40 upon 60. Now simple the calculation part, you can do it. This is 5.6 kilometer per hour. Because when you are familiar with the concept of distance, how to calculate distance and displacement, now it is simple substitution in the formula. Now average velocity, this will be displacement upon time. So here it is 1.25 upon time taken is 40 by 60. Time is same for both the case. So it will come out to be 1.87 kilometer per hour. So this is the main step which you have to follow. As in this case, main point which you have to understand, that when going from A to B, distance was covered within a time of 30 minutes. Now as the total time is 40 minutes, so within next 10 minutes with speed of 7.5 kilometer per hour, what will be the distance covered? That we have calculated. This is 1.25. So we have calculated total distance, displacement and average speed and velocity as per the formula. Now let me take one more numerical to understand the concept of average velocity. It's a very important kind of numerical. When you will understand it, you will be able to solve many numerical. Although this concept is also based on the basic formula that average velocity is equal to total displacement upon time taken. See the statement. A body traveling along a straight line traversed 1/2 of the total distance with velocity v0. The remaining part of the distance was covered with velocity v1 for half the time and for other half time with velocity v2. Find mean velocity averaged over the whole time of motion. See, if you understand the statement, if you are able to convert it into the figure, then you have done half work. Let's see how. A body traveling along a straight line, this is a straight line A to C, traversed, it means covered 1/2 of the total distance. See, total distance I have taken, you can take it as total distance s dash s. I am taking it as total distance as 2s. Why? Because I have to take half distance. So to simplify the calculations, I have taken it as distance and this is s. But it will not make difference. If you want to take total distance s, then you can take total distance s and this is s by 2 and this is s by 2. But I am starting with A to C distance 2s. So half distance A to B is s and the remaining one is also s. So now when the body cover a distance of s unit with the speed of v0, the remaining part of the distance, this remaining part, yani BC, this was covered with velocity. This second line is very important. If you understand it, then it will be clear to you. Remaining part of the distance, BC distance, covered with velocity v1 for half the time. Suppose for this particular A to B, let the time taken is t1. Now what will be the time taken for B to C? Now again in between B to C we have been given that for whatever time it will take, for first half time it is moving with velocity v1 and for another half time it is moving with velocity v2. You can take total time t, but again for simplification I have taken t first half time, another t second half time. So it means total distance covered here will be s plus s, that is 2s, and total time taken it will be t1 plus t plus t, that is t1 plus 2s. But as per the statement this is t1 plus 2t, but as per the statement you have to find average velocity for the entire motion. So you have to convert this in terms of given velocities, because v1, v2, v0 these are the given parameters instead of t1 and t. T1 and t we have assumed. So we have to find average velocity in terms of the given parameters. So now you can see as body is moving with velocity v1 for time t. So what will be the distance covered? It is not clear to us that B to C what will be the distance covered with velocity v1 and what will be the distance covered with velocity v2. So let S1 is a distance covered with velocity v1. So S1 distance will be v1 into t. Similarly, S2 distance will cover with velocity v2 within a time t. So distance S1 and S2 we have calculated like this. So now see, this S is equal to S1 plus S2. BC will be equal to S1 plus S2. So total distance, this BC equal to S. So BC here is S, that is S1 plus S2, which is V1T plus V2T. Now as we have to calculate time, so here V1 plus V2 into T. So from this you can calculate time T, which is unknown to us. Right? So we have calculated t time. Now similarly t1 is a time taken to cover first s distance, first half distance, but with velocity v0. Right? Now what is the formula for average velocity? This is total distance, that is 2s upon total time. What was the total time? t1 plus 2t. As per the figure, first half distance AB is covered in time of t1 and the remaining BC distance is covered in time of 2t. So now next step is simple substitution of the time here. 2s upon t1. T1 is s upon t1 is v0, s upon v0 plus s upon v1 plus v2. Here s is common, take s common, this is average velocity is 2s upon s, 1 by v0 plus 1 by v1 plus v2 as cancelled. Simplify. In the denominator there will be LCM v0 into v1 plus v2. So v1 plus v2 plus v0. Here one thing I have missed here, yes, this time is 2, so 2 should be in multiply everywhere. Yes, this is a step, because here time is 2t and here, so 2 will be multiplier here. So now almost everything we have done. So this will come in the numerator, 2 v0 v1 plus v2 upon v1 plus v2 plus 2v0. So this is average velocity. Expression seems to be typical one, but steps are all identical. So let me recapitulate. As per the statement, total distance covered, that is 2s, first half is covered with velocity v0 for time t1, second half distance is covered in equal time, but for first half time this is covered with velocity v1, for second half time covered with velocity v2. So first of all, for average speed we require total time and total distance. So total distance is s plus s, total time is t1 plus t plus t. that is 2t, t1 plus 2t. So now here distance covered with time, velocity v1 and v2. So you are calculating s1, s2. So now total distance s in the second half, that is s1 plus s2. What is the significance of this step? To calculate the value of t within known parameters s1 and s2. So now in terms of these parameters, we have calculated time t. T1 we can also calculate it simple, velocity is distance upon time. Then average velocity is total distance upon total time taken. So now total distance upon total time taken, here we have substituted the value of T1 and 2t. Substituting here, one important point, this way confusing point, because here time is doubled, because for second half time taken is 2t, so 2 should be in the multiplication. Substituting, taking the LCM and then doing it. This is all for this numerical. So this is all when we have done the basic concept of average speed and velocity. Now what you have to do, that you have to practice more numericals on these concepts, and after this you will be able to do numericals. So I will send you few numericals so that you will get confidence over such kind of problems. So now keep preparing the terms, the topics which we have already covered, and do it by writing practice. I always advise you to practice it by writing. Even a definition you must learn by writing practice. It will be a boon for you all. Thank you. Have a nice day.